you longing to be fully comfortable in your skin and to express a new level of greatness? Would you like to increase your magnetism and experience fulfillment in every area of your life so that you can live with passion and purpose with no apologies? If the answer is yes to any one of these questions, then Shakina Moore's Fierce Challenge is available to you right now. Visit www.thefiercechallenge.com because now it's your time to go from blah to fierce. Fierce living. The experience of your life in significance, where you own your own voice without apology. And on Shakina Moore, etc., you will be certified fierce. And now, ladies and gentlemen, to prepare us for the fierce life, Miss Shakina Moore and yours truly, Marcus Select.
Oh yes. We are back in action, and Miss Shakina Moore, how are you doing on today?
Marcus, I am excited. I hope you are.
Yes, I am terribly excited. Nervous at the same time because we got two women on this situation on today. I tell you, it's getting ready to get hot in the studio, even though we're going to talk about getting hot in the kitchen. Y'all need to get crunk. Shakina Moore, etc. is live and on demand on SIBN Radio. And ladies and gentlemen, we are so proud to have Miss Shakina Moore back again. What is we talking about today? It's already hot over here.
Woo, it's going to get hotter. Today, we are talking about keeping it hot in the kitchen. We know that women, we love keeping it hot. But some of us, oh my goodness, we need some help in the kitchen. And so we are going to be talking about some topics that are steamy.
Yes, and we want to also introduce our special guest. We're going to introduce Savannah here, but we're going to bring her in a few minutes. But Savannah is an excellent chef. I want to say chef because why? Why she's a chef? Because if the man says it's good, that means she's a chef. Divas in the Kitchen Visionary CEO is on deck. You guys stand by. Diva in the Kitchen has been on several interviews with local shows, magazines such as Diamond Divas Magazine, the Simply Jania Show, and so many more. So you're going to hear from her in this particular show and so much more. We're going to have a lot of fun. But Shakina, let's talk to our viewers and tell them, first of all, we want them to follow you on Facebook, on Twitter, and anywhere else you are. Let's get that out the way so we won't have no interruptions.
Absolutely. If you want to find us on Facebook, check us out at Shakina Moore ETC on SIBN Radio. Also, you can find us on Twitter at Styling ATL. Absolutely.
Yes, Divas in the Kitchen is delegated for women worldwide to wine, dine, relax while learning to cook with style. I like the sound of this myself. The ideal flourished when Savannah Moore began to receive personal catering demands and requests from women who wanted to spice it up in a niche. I want to say a niche. Have a niche in the kitchen. All right. So, Savannah, welcome to the SIBN network as well as the Shakina Moore, etc. show. How are you doing today?
I am doing well. I hope you guys are doing awesome.
Yes. We cooking up something, yes. All right.
Yeah, it's a little hot on my end. I'm in the kitchen as we speak.
So tell everybody a little bit about yourself and how did you come up with this Divas in the Kitchen thing?
Absolutely. Well, you may or may not know, I'm an owner of a local catering company here in Raleigh, North Carolina, and I found that when we would cater to large amounts of vending opportunities in different areas, like different churches and different places that would call us to come in and cater, a lot of women would always ask me and my staff, how do we stay looking so good and we're always in the kitchen? So then it dawned on me, and I'm like, okay, well, what perception do you all have of someone that's in the kitchen? How am I supposed to look? Can I not look good and be in the kitchen? What am I supposed to look like? So I brainstormed on it, and I came up with the concept. I ran it by my team, and I went to my mentor, and I said, hey, I have a bright idea. We need to bring something to the community to show women that you don't have to look a certain way to be in the kitchen. And that's where the concept as a whole came from for Divas in the Kitchen. And it's pretty much to show women how to feel confident and just get back in the kitchen. I grew up in a family that the women did a lot of cooking, and as women in today's community, we've completely gotten away from that. So our goal is to get women comfortable and get them back in the kitchen and looking good at the same time so they can enjoy being in the kitchen.
Wow. Shakina, this sounds like this is a fierce move right here.
This is seriously fierce. That's why, much as I told you, we had to have her on the show. I was not going to take no for an answer. That was fierce.
Yes. And one of the things that I like about...
Savannah, I have some questions for you because, as Marcus just said, we are all about fierce living on this show, and you absolutely exemplify fierce. And so a lot of women do want to know, how do I keep it up? Because we have so many demands on us as women these days. I mean, it's not the same as, when our mothers' generations were coming up and their mothers' generations were coming up. And I don't take for granted they have their own problems, I'm sure, their own challenges. But how do you keep it so hot in the kitchen? And what can women wear, to look nice and prepare intimate dinners for their mates and, just really bring out that ambiance they're looking for without getting stressed out?
Right. Well, the first thing is you have to be confident in yourself as a woman. A lot of women, they get married and they have kids and they just feel as though they don't want to get in the kitchen. They don't want to do certain things. They're kind of retired from getting in the kitchen because they just feel they have low self-esteem, or they just feel really low about themselves and they just don't want to do anything. One thing that I will say is any woman can be a diva. To me, every woman is a diva, and you can be a diva in your own light. Now, when it comes to being in the kitchen and looking good, it's always good to wear something really sexy, whether it's lingerie or the Divas in the Kitchen line that we have coming out, which is going to be specifically for women to wear in the kitchen. We'll have really nice underclothes or board shorts and really cute shirts and some pumps on, or maybe some red pumps or an apron, a really sexy apron, something that makes you feel really confident about yourself. Don't wear a do-rag on your head or a little cap on your head like our grandmothers used to do back in the day. Get in there with style. You don't have to get in there like you're going to the office, but get in there in something that your man or your husband come home and see. So when he comes home and as soon as he walks in the door and he sees you, he's like, okay, I'm ready for what's next. So that's kind of like your whole idea behind it. And at that same time, you as a woman will feel confident in yourself and in what you're doing in the kitchen. So it'll kind of empower you to want to do it a little more and more and more. And that makes me feel good.
I need to give this show. More. I need to give this. Wait a minute. I'm getting some paper real quick because I'm getting some paper, some ribbon. I'm getting some ribbon. I'm finna wrap this show up right here and right now. Put it under the tree. Wait 1 second. I'm gonna wrap it. Put a big bow on there. Okay. Listen to this show. Keep it hot. Oh my goodness. Go ahead, Shakita.
Well, Savannah, what you say makes a lot of sense, because if you think about women and how we feel better when we buy those new clothes before we start working out at the gym. When we have something that looks a little something extra, we look in the mirror, we catch a glimpse of ourselves, and we like what we see. It does change how we show up. It does change how we make it a habit to go to the gym. Versus when we just put on throw a do-rag on our head and, throw on some old dusty-looking sneakers. When we look nice, we act differently. It changes. Yeah, exactly. You're right. Absolutely. So, Marcus, exactly. I heard you saying something about wrapping it up in a bow. Stopping right there. What has you so excited?
The thing about it is, back to your foundational point, Shakina, is that when you think about fierce living, it's life on the edge with principle. It's Life on Edge with Principle. And this makes sense. If you're going to be in the kitchen, you might as well have fun. I know that I can't say that I saw the boy shorts and all that, but I want to ask one of the questions about aphrodisiacs and the smell, because one time I was just doing my thing or whatever, and I promise you, I had never ever smelt what I smelled. It caught me by surprise. And I said, girl, what are you doing in the kitchen? So it's not just the clothes, but I want to ask about the smell, the aroma, and foods that are aphrodisiacs, if I'm pronouncing that word correctly, that draws a man in. So what are some of the foods, you know what I'm saying, that will draw me in? Some of the spices. I mean, that girl does some things. I'll talk about it later, but she in other words, for instance, greens are not cooked the normal way anymore in my house. She usually, the old way is to boil it and boil the water and put a ham hock and all that. She stir fries the greens, and oh my God, the cabbage.
And it's delicious.
Yeah, exactly. So how can women, use the aroma as well to get that man's attention?
Well, what you just said basically is a great point. Because the way I grew up is the old-fashioned way, like you just mentioned, with the greens and the cabbage and the string beans and the collard greens, and we would add a little ham hock. But nowadays, they do have different things that you can do and that you can add to your food to make it taste the same or to make it taste really good, but you just don't have to add all those extra ingredients. And it also comes over to being more healthy about it, like eating leaner foods, getting seasonings that may not contain a lot of salt. One thing that I know that a lot of men like are a lot of steak dinners and seafood. So when they walk in the house and they smell that, that's automatically a turn on. So if they know they have a juicy ribeye steak in the oven and some baked potato and a nice salad that's dressed up really pretty, your presentation means a lot. So it's just all about how you present yourself and how you present your food. At the end of the day, you can pretty much take any type of spices and make something good. I can work with anything. I can have a kitchen of 3 spices and barely anything in the refrigerator, and I'll make it work. It's just about how you do it and how you present it.
That's good.
And
Listen,
you do it with love and passion.
we're going to take a small break because it's getting real hot up in here. Hey, y'all, somebody turn the air conditioner up. It's getting real. It's burning up in here. Because when we come back from the break, we're going to talk about perfect meals for date night. We're going to talk about men and women, who are the better cooks, and so much more. You guys stand by. You're listening to the Shekinah Moore, etc. radio program and show. Today, it's a show for show. It's a show for show. Okay? Y'all stand by. We'll be right back.
You're listening to the sounds of your lifestyle improvement station.
Hi, Jamaica Chapel, College Park, Georgia, in the house. You're listening to SIBN Radio.
Hi, this is Ted Bones calling from Richmond, Virginia, and you're listening to the Lifestyle Improvement Station, SIBN Radio. Y'all turn it up now.
Hi, this is VJ Washington calling from Atlanta, Georgia. You're listening to the Lifestyle Improvement Station, SIBN Radio. So turn it up.
Hi, my name is Sonia Claiborne from East St. Louis, Illinois, by way of Columbusville, Missouri. You're listening to the Lifestyle Improvement Station, SIBN Radio. Turn it up.
What's good? It's your boy Joe coming from Snellville, Georgia. You're listening to the Lifestyle Improvement Station, SIBN Radio. Y'all turn it up.
You're listening to the sounds of your lifestyle improvement station, changing the way we live. SIBN FM, powered by Summit USA TV.
All right, we're back here, the Shekinah Moore, etc. program, and it's a show for show, okay? Keeping it hot in the kitchen. Shekinah Moore, what you got to say about that date night meal?
That date night had me excited. I need to go find me some new outfits. I'll tell you, but look, this is the thing that really, there's something you said, Savannah, that really, really resonated with me. You said that you're a happily married woman, and even though you've enjoyed cooking all your life, you understand one thing, and that's that sacrifices have to be made. Can you tell us a little bit more about what you mean when you say that?
Absolutely. One thing about it is I cook because I have a passion to cook. I love to cook, and when I'm in a relationship and, you know, in my marriage, I cook out of my passion because I want to please that person and because I want to make sure that I'm serving them and that they are catered to, because that's your overall goal in a relationship, is to make your mate happy. A lot of women, however, do not have the passion to cook. They hate getting in the kitchen. They do not like it at all. So, in other words, when you're in a relationship and you're in a marriage, sometimes you have to make sacrifices and do things that you may not normally do. It's all a part of being in a relationship, just like your husband has to make sacrifices, do things, and cater to you in ways that he may not know how to or that he's not used to. So do you have to do the same thing? So every man loves a home-cooked meal. I don't care who he is. There's nothing greater than coming home from a long day of work and having your wife cater to you. Hands down, there's no other way around it. So if you know that's something that he loves, you may not do it every single night like I do, but make that sacrifice sometimes to cater to him and show him that you love him in other ways outside of what you're already doing. And what other way to do it than a home-cooked meal?
Lord have mercy.
And looking good while you're doing it.
God have mercy. I'm having a little trouble.
I know Marcus is going to say something.
I'm having a little trouble focusing right now. I'm having a little trouble focusing. But you know what? On a serious tip, you know, also for those ladies that are really cooking it up in the kitchen, I want to go back to this date night. What's a good meal for date night for the women as well who would enjoy with their husbands on a date night? What you think?
As far as what the women can cook for them?
Well, when they want to get a break from cooking at home, just going out, what's the perfect date night meal to give both of them a break?
You can't go wrong with, like I said earlier, a nice steak dinner. Everybody loves steak, and if you don't eat steak, a lot of people eat seafood. So that's something that you can always bring to the table where you can't go wrong.
Mm-hmm.
Now, when it comes to you preparing a nice date night at home, you can do the same meal, and you can dress it up, and you can serve it to your spouse or your husband or your wife. And just make it look very delectable, make the presentation look really good, and serve them. And you can't go wrong with that, and look good while you're doing it.
You know, some women would say, well, listen, I don't feel like I have to do all that. Y'all done went too far. Okay, you need to just you need to hold up. I'm serious. I mean, some of them say, well, look, I work two jobs.
You're right, and that's the problem.
So talk a little bit about how women can return to keeping it hot in the kitchen from the inside out. In other words, and Shakina, that's directed to you as well, how to build themselves up to this. They may not be able to step into all of this tomorrow, but how can they build themselves up to making it hot in the kitchen again, even though they have, said, hey, listen, I'm tired, okay?
One thing
I want to answer before you, Savannah. Can I answer before you, Savannah? Because I already know you're going to have a professional answer. For my field, Marcus, I say go in with no expectations. Because if a man is used to you not cooking, he's going to be shocked that you're in there cooking. And so he may have come home with some fast food or some takeout, and then here you are in there, the house smelling all good, all the aromas are going all through the vent, and you're mad because you expected him to come home with open arms hugging you because you cooked the meal. But it's a process. If he's not used to you doing that, don't you agree, Savannah? Then he may have shown up not ready.
That's good.
Exactly.
That's very wise, Dr. Moore. That's very wise right there, because if you have your expectations too high sometimes and you get disappointed, you might not continue to keep it hot in the kitchen. The kitchen might get cold. So you have to, don't have so many expectations. But, I think what I learned from you two guys is that you got to enjoy the process yourself, I think is what you're saying to some women. Am I right or wrong?
Yeah.
Yeah, you got to enjoy it. You got to enjoy it. So, Miss Moore, what else do you have? Who better cooks?
Well, I just want to hear from Savannah. She never answered the question. I want to hear what her take is on it.
Okay.
Well, I agree 100% with what you said. Another thing you have to keep in mind is, with Divas in the Kitchen, we cater to women all over the world. So just in talking to women, I learned a lot of the reasons why they aren't in the kitchen and what brings their self-esteem down, why they feel as though they don't want to cook anymore. And a lot of the reason behind it is because they are either working all the time, they're really busy, they just don't have the time to do it, or they've done it so much that they gain weight and they don't feel really, they don't feel comfortable putting on lingerie and getting in the kitchen. They feel really insecure about themselves. So one thing I would say in reference to that is you have to work on yourself. If you know that something is wrong with you, there's no point for you to continue complaining about it. If you know that you're bigger than you expected or you're bigger than what your husband wants you to be, try to go to the gym and try to, work on yourself instead of complaining about it, and that may help you feel a little more comfortable getting in the kitchen, for one. The other thing is, we're all busy. Even with myself, I was working in corporate America, running 2 businesses, got kids, had a husband. So it's a lot on someone. They may not do what I do every day. They may not can't cook every day and handle all those tasks every day. However, it goes back to you making those sacrifices. When you're married or in a relationship, sometimes you have to make sacrifices. So sometimes you have to get beside yourself and realize that, okay, maybe this is not just for me. Let me make sure that he feels good. Let me do something to cater to him and make sure that, he's taken care of. So it's so many different avenues of getting back in the kitchen and looking good. And a lot of the times it stems from the women themselves.
What I like about Shakina Moore with the Fierce Factor is this. Listen, you may not be a size 10. Okay, let's just face it. Everybody is not going to be able to do all of the things to look like the person in the magazine. But one thing you can do, the spirit in which you do something makes all the difference for a man. Because a man's mind is simple. I mean, it look like we complicate and all that, but we real simple. And if you enjoy the process of what you're doing, whether it's cooking, well, I like what the ladies were saying about arranging it. I mean, I'm just having visions right now. I'm having real problems focusing on the show, but I'm just, keeping it real that men are simple. And if the spirit in which you're cooking that meal, doing it differently, dressing the table differently, I promise you, it will be a shock and awe for your man when he come home. Because, mine shocked me. First, I didn't even expect a meal half the time. I'm like, I thought you were tired. Well, I had something in mind I got to take care of. That's what she'll say, I got something I got to do, so excuse me, But what you doing in here? What's that you stirring? What? Excuse me, you wait right here. Wait right here. I'll be back. You see what I'm saying? And so when you enjoy it, I think that puts a different light on it, along with the goals of going to the gym or, going to get a nice little naughty outfit, if you will. This is for mature listeners only. So if you're a little kid somewhere, go somewhere and plug your ears up real quick. Okay.
Cut it out, Marcus. Cut it out.
But that's the problem.
Marcus.
Yes, ma'am.
Marcus.
Yes, ma'am.
So
yes, ma'am.
So now I have to advocate for the other side now too, right? So say the woman she's going out and she's making a concerted effort, to start providing these meals. She's really starting to get into it. At some level, isn't there a responsibility on the man? Because we already said earlier that, today women have more on their shoulders. We're carrying a lot more weight. Our schedules are just as busy as our partner's schedule. So what are some things, Marcus, that a man can do to ensure that these women who are going out of their way to provide these meals and make it fancy and nice, what can you do to facilitate the process? I mean, what can you do to chip in to help?
You know, that's a great question. And I tell you, we as men, we are mature in a lot of areas, but we need to be more mature in our relationships. I'm speaking for myself, but for all men. Because, you know, women are sophisticated, but they're sophisticated to know when you appreciate something. And I think that's the problem that we as men could fix. We could fix the appreciation factor. Baby, it smells good in there. I mean, even if you're on your way to the news, as myself, on your way to read the paper, the kids got you by the legs, you can say, baby, it smells good in there. You could give compliments, first of all, when you walk in the door, when you smell the aroma, when you see something different, when you hear something different. And I think women will be able to gain from that you're headed in her direction mentally. You know, her energy is reaching you, you know, but when men just, you know, well, why did you do that? You know, well, I didn't know we was having date night. You know, a lot of men's memories is bad because they got too many of other things. I don't even want to go there. I don't even want to. You got other things.
Go there. Please go there.
You have other things on your mind. And listen, men are attracted by what they see. I say this all the time. You know, men are attracted by what they see. But listen, at some point, you have to focus your eyes on what you're supposed to focus on. You're going to get caught away here or there. But it's up to you as men to bring your focus back on, wow, that's different. Oh, pay attention. That's what's wrong with us as men. We got to learn how to pay attention. Real quick.
Woo, you just said a mouthful.
Listen, real quick. The Bible says that when a man and a woman is married, here's two jobs that the man has other than providing. He has two jobs. One, to love her. Two, to know her. The only way you're going to know her, you got to be paying attention. And as soon as you miss paying attention, that meal might be upside your head. No, I'm not going to say that. It's not going to be upside your head because you're too fit. Yeah.
Savannah, let me ask you this. So, you've been cooking a while. I heard you say earlier in the show that you do this on a daily basis, which I commend you for that because that's a lot. And that does take sacrifice and a tremendous amount of dedication. So I'm sure your husband is very, very thankful. So please share with our listening audience, after a while, as you've been doing this over and over and over again, day in, day out, does the appreciation wane? Does the appreciation, fiddle off, or has it been consistent?
It's been very consistent. And it's shocking to me, but it's kind of like a situation where when you're doing something over and over again, you tend to get in your comfort zone. So because that's something that I do, it's like something that's expected around here. So if there were days or a week or two that I didn't go without cooking, something would be wrong. But as far as the appreciation, it doesn't go away. It doesn't go away. It's the same as
that is awesome.
Mm-hmm.
That is awesome.
I mean, it becomes a lifestyle.
Well, they want to motivate some ladies around here.
Hey, but you know, I want to ask you. You know, it becomes a part of your fierce lifestyle, doesn't it, Shakina?
Yeah, I need to get better. Savannah and I are going to be talking. But you know what? I used to cook every single day, but you're right. As my businesses began to expand and I got busier and busier, you know, it wasn't a priority for me anymore. But now I'm starting to make it a priority again because I'm really getting into healthy eating and just eating on a different level. And so it's a process. It really is. But I actually like to cook. I actually like cooking. So for me, it's not even a question of getting in the kitchen because I actually like to be in the kitchen. Mm-hmm. It's more of a matter of literally structuring the time where it becomes the priority of one's life.
Mm. Mm-hmm. Wow. What about the women that don't like to get in the kitchen, though? I know we touched on it a little bit, but somebody's saying out there, man, I can't stand to get in the kitchen.
They need to come to Divas in the kitchen. I guarantee you when they leave, they'll be in that kitchen.
Wow.
90% of the women that left Divas in the kitchen this year when I launched it email me on a regular basis or inbox me or whatever, like, hey, I made this dish, and they were very proud to get back in the kitchen. It made them see being in the kitchen on a whole different light, and that was our goal. You know, it's not all about just coming home from work, getting in the kitchen. It's more to it than that. It's the presentation behind it. It's how you look when you do it. It's how you feel when you do it. And sometimes when you get in the kitchen, it kind of takes your mind off other things, and you can really relax and enjoy yourself, and at the same time know that you're doing something to please someone else. So it's,
and I agree with that, Savannah.
Yeah, it is.
Oh my God,
it's so much behind it than just getting in the kitchen and frying a piece of chicken or baking a piece of chicken. It's a lot, and that's what we kind of discuss at Divas in the Kitchen. We really get into detail about the intimacy of food, how to prepare your dish, how to present your dish, how to serve it to your mate or your spouse, and it's so much more behind it. And 9 times out of 10 when they leave, not all of them, but a lot of them do enjoy cooking from that point on because we make them see cooking on a whole different light.
Wow.
Well, that's our goal. So
I love that.
When we come out with the Divas in the Kitchen show, our goal is to reach women around the world and get them back in the kitchen because we have completely gotten away from that as women. So our main focus is to have those women back in the kitchen. What can we do to get you back in the kitchen? And men are going to be happy everywhere. So, I bet they are.
Now, right before we go to a break, explain what it means to be a diva, D-I-V-A, a diva in the kitchen. Diva.
Just being fierce, being yourself, being confident and being empowered and being confident in who you are.
That's good, man. You're listening to the Shekinah Moore, etc. show on SIBN Radio, and I'm telling you, it's hot in the studios, hot here, hot there, hot everywhere. Y'all better get, oh my goodness, I'm trying to focus. We'll be right back. We'll be right back in just a minute. All right, stand by.
Ustedes están escuchando SIBN, transmitido por Salet USA TV. Síguenos en Twitter @Salet USA TV o visítenos en www.41596radio.com.
I need you to realize and accept that there is only one philosophy that I have embraced under the Coach's Corner's umbrella, and that is that we are the common denominator in every situation. So I can't blame them, they, her, and him. I am stepping up to the plate, and I realize it's all me. Not that it's all about me, but it's all about the legacy for those that come behind me to achieve a height of success that I can't even imagine. This is called the transgenerational shift of mindsets that we may propel ourselves into the generations that is to come and tell them, I won't leave you a mess that you have to clean up, but I'll leave you a principle-centered life that you can celebrate and catapult into more success. Join me on the Coach's Corner at www.415-96radio.com. That's www.415-96radio.com, and follow me on Twitter. That's the only way you can keep up with the coach. That's right, DCC is in the house on SIBN Radio. Tune in.
SCGPW. That's right. The Select USA TV Collabo Media Groups and Partners Worldwide for a limited time has opened up its membership to the general public. Now you can collaborate worldwide with media conglomerate SIBN Television and Radio. If you want to join free of charge for this limited time offer, then visit www.WeSupportSelectUSATV.com. That's right, we have programs, benefits, service, and so much more to offer to our members exclusively at SCGPW. That's right, visit www.WeSupportSelectUSATV.com. That's www.WeSupportSALETTEUSATV.com. All right, we're back here. Shekinah Moore, etc. Hot. And you know what? If you ain't having fun with the show, shame on you. Because I feel like cooking. What about that?
I feel like cooking, too.
I mean, my goodness.
They made some meatballs or something.
Okay.
Something.
But listen, so you were talking about divas being confident, and let's talk about the ailing issues that seem to never go away for women. Number one, the lack of interaction of their father, who never picks up the kids. You know, I had a woman call me this week and tell me about how that she doesn't have any help. And so how can women overcome these nagging issues such as that and many more, maybe a medical issue? Could they try this once a week? Could they just, start off on maybe on a weekend? Should they do it for themselves, cook a nice, beautiful meal for them and their kids or something? I mean, how can women who have nagging issues really take advantage of this keeping it hot in the kitchen? Any one of you guys?
Well, I would say for someone that does not cook at all or have issues with cooking for whatever the reason may be, my suggestion to them would be to start off slow. Of course, you're not going to start cooking tomorrow and do it every single day like I do, but at least do something every now and then, maybe once a week or every other week, and just get in the swing of being able to enjoy being in the kitchen. It's not going to come overnight, and it's definitely not going to come easy, but it can happen, just like with anything in life. So my suggestion personally would be to just start off slow, start off with something small, and just continue doing that. And the more you do it, the more you will feel better doing it, and the more you'll feel better. And when you have someone that appreciates it, that I think is what tops it off. If you're like a single woman and you don't really have someone that you can cook for, you're probably 9 times out of 10 not going to be motivated to get in the kitchen. You're going to be like, okay, well, who am I going to cook for? But at the end of the day, if you have kids, you have to cook for your kids. So it's still something that you can do to get back in the kitchen. But when you have a man or a spouse that really appreciates that, sometimes it does build your confidence and it makes you want to do it.
And you know what I was going to say, Shakina Moore can weigh in on this. If you're looking for a husband, I suggest you get in that kitchen and practice and have some fun.
Yeah.
You see what I'm saying? I mean, a lot of single women are looking for husbands. What? What did I say? Y'all cracking up. I mean, it's amazing to me. First of all, how somebody could say, there's no good men. I mean, they take all these negative statements in and minimize your fierceness. You know what I mean? I mean, first of all, whatever it is that you want, you become the answer in symbolic form. And so imagine if you're single, you're struggling, and listen, you're clubbing, you're going out, and we're not saying stop all that, but if you're truly serious about getting a husband, not a playboy, but a husband, okay? Then you got to get in that kitchen and pretend and begin to act out that role of enticing. And maybe your kids might say, Mama, you did something different today with this here meal. Mama, this is good. Maybe he might behave in school a little bit better, give you a break. But I'm just saying, you got to practice before you actually have a husband show up. For those that are single, you can't just whip it out. Am I wrong here? It's hot here. I know I might be speaking out of turn. It's real hot over here in the studio. But Shakina, am I wrong?
No, you are right on it. And absolutely. In any part you want, you have to play the role before you get the role. Ooh. Absolutely. You are on it. Ooh. You are dead on. And I tell you, I can't think of a time where I have prepared a nice meal where I haven't received some type of, oh my gosh, that was my favorite. Ooh, I love that. And even my 5-year-old, he will tell me what his favorites are. Ooh, Mommy, can you make some of this? Ooh, I love it when you make that. And that alone, it will keep you making that special thing. So even I think if you find your niche, like find, for example, you may have, everyone doesn't like soul food. Like for me, I like seafood, for example. So for me, that may be the main thing I make, but I try to do different things with it. For someone else, it could be, like you said, the steak dinners, or it could be, some people are just meat and potatoes. That's all they want. So you just have to find your groove, and I really do believe that when you find that enjoyment in it, it doesn't even feel like work anymore. It becomes another one of your passions because you understand that even in fierce living, part of that is giving of yourself. It's not even about you at that point. It's about giving and making someone else feel good. That's one less thing you have to worry about because you got that covered.
Yep.
And you know
and
what?
as Martha said, if he's providing, then that's a wrap. If he's providing, that's a wrap.
Yes, yes. You know, I was sitting here thinking, I said, and then sometimes you can give her a break. You could let her know the day before, baby, I got something in mind for you. So I'm going to give you a break tomorrow night so you won't have to go, because I know you do such a great job. You know what I'm saying? And actually have a break for her to allow her to see, I hate to go here because I could feel Shakina pushing me. The fierce factor is pushing me. But some men, first of all, never overstay your welcome in any demeanor. If your wife is doing some beautiful things for you, every now and then what will recharge or refuel her is to give her a break from that and say, hey, I got you covered right here. Let's go over here. You see what I'm saying? And do X, Y, and Z. And I don't know how women think. Y'all can tell me what you think. But I just can imagine she's saying, what? Brother man stepped up? Okay. You know what I'm saying? Because most women, when they have to do this cooking in the kitchen on a regular basis, it's a planning issue. So they have to shop. They have to make sure they have the right ingredients. They have to make sure that other things are intact, other things are in play. The kids are where they're supposed to be, and the dog been taken out, and the cat, and have plenty of food and all that. And things have to be warm. Things have to be melted. Butter I don't know. But I'm just saying, it'd be nice sometime if the brother say, you know what, on Mondays, baby, I want you to do this right here. I want you to call me at 5 o'clock because I'm going to be clocking out at 5:30. I got something for you. So don't even try to plan no meal on Monday.
You see that high more rooms in the kitchen.
You know what I'm saying? I mean, come on, man. You know what I'm saying? Give her a break. And same way with the laundry or anything else. If she does the laundry all the time or something like that, say, hey, baby, I want you to walk me through. See, if you really want to help, y'all correct me if I'm wrong. If you really want to step it up, it's not just your money that they want, the provision. No, they want the protection of knowing that emotionally I can count on you to do something new. I can count on you to explore. Some men are bona fide. I don't do laundry. I don't do no cooking. I'm a man's man. Really? Really? You know what I'm saying? I mean, come on. You got to explore a little bit. And I think what I've learned is sometimes you do what you wouldn't do for you, but you'll do it for her. Ladies, what you think?
Absolutely. I agree 100%.
I'm listening. My wife going to listen to this and I'm going to be in trouble.
No, to piggyback off what she said earlier, I think that when it comes to relationships, as far as with women in particular, a lot of women that I have talked to over the years, their expectations of men are so high, but they don't want to bring the same thing to the table, meaning that they'll sit there and say, okay, well, I want a man that makes this amount of money. He has to do this. He has to be able to cook. He has to be able to do that. But you're not willing to bring the same thing or more to the table. So that kind of leaves you. And that leaves you then either single or just unhappy because your expectations are so high, but what are you willing to bring to the table? And like you guys said earlier, if you want that husband and you know that men like food and they are going to want a home-cooked meal, prepare yourself for that. Prepare yourself to be that wife that you can, the best wife that you can possibly be to any man out here. So when that man does come, although your expectations are high, you're able to bring the same thing to the table. It's not just you expecting. So it goes both ways.
And food, a good meal mess with a man's mind. I'm going to let y'all know that. He don't know what's happening. But it's messing with his mind, see? Because sometimes men are engaged in foolish thoughts and foolishness. But a good meal served in the right spirit. You know what I'm saying? Come on now, because some women pray while they cooking in the kitchen. I need some help right there. You know, Lord, I thank you.
I'm in the kitchen. I'm jamming the music. Okay. I'm having a good time.
Yes, exactly. Right. So, I mean, good meal messes with a man's mind. I know it's messed with mine several times. I'm like, oh, Jesus, this is, Lord have mercy. All right, let's give some information.
I just feel like the vibes are better when there's the understanding of the roles and what's the structure and what to expect, and there are no surprises, that type of thing. So keeping the surprise element in what you're actually cooking, not, I never know if I'm going to meal or not. So I really appreciate you I really appreciate you coming and highlighting some of the things that women are struggling with and how to overcome those struggles. I really appreciate it.
Yeah, and she's got a show coming out. Now, tell us a little bit about what you're working on and what to look forward to for those that are listening.
Well, I have so much going on right now. 2014 is going to be a huge year for Divas in the Kitchen. It kind of took off on its own. So we're going to continue launching our events. We do those twice a year, and we have women come out from all over the world. It's a huge event. They come in and they see the celebrity chef prepare a meal, like step by step. We have games. We do a lot of intimate talk, and we really educate women on what it means to be in the kitchen, how to look when you're in the kitchen, just different things that they can do in the kitchen. And then we also have our TV show that's going to be launched at the next Divas in the Kitchen. They're going to start launching it, actually, and we're going to start that in March. So we'll be airing that bi-weekly, and of course it'll be called the Divas in the Kitchen show. So we have a Divas in the Kitchen clothing line coming out that will have those things that women can wear in the kitchen at all shapes and sizes, no matter what size you are. You can still be a diva in the kitchen. So we're going to have a line that we can suit that, regardless of what your size is, whether you're 10 or 22. There's something out there that you can wear and look good and feel confident in the kitchen. So with that being said, that's most of the things that we have coming up. I know we're going to start doing classes every month in January as well. And all of this stuff will be highlighted on our website. So it's so much in store for Divas in the Kitchen. And our main goal is to reach women around the world and get them back in the kitchen. And just empower them and let them feel good about them, or allow them to feel good about themselves. And so far, I think we're doing really good.
Hey, go ahead on and give that website, Twitter, and Facebook information real quick. Ladies and gentlemen, you're listening to the voice of Savannah Moore, and we want you to pay attention to this information. You want to follow her, follow, share, read, watch, listen, all of that there. Savannah, go ahead and give them some contact information, Facebook, Twitter, and beyond.
Okay, perfect. The Twitter account is DITK 2013. And that's the Twitter, the Divas in the Kitchen. On Facebook, you can just find us on the Divas in the Kitchen. The website, now our information is on my catering website, and that's SerenTaisCatering.com, and it's spelled SERENTAIS, and catering, CATERING.
This girl is doing some things. I got one last question, though. Y'all going to have to forgive me. Y'all going to have to forgive me right here.
Uh-oh.
What makes cooking so sexy? God have mercy.
What makes cooking so... You said what makes cooking so sexy?
Yes. Please explain.
Well, I think just the passion and the love that stems from being in the kitchen as a woman, I think that alone is sexy. That stands out. And just the fact that you're catering to your man or your spouse, to me alone, that is just sexy. It's just something about being in the kitchen that makes a woman look sexy to me.
That's good, man. Well, it's so good to have you on. Shakina?
Yes. We have thoroughly enjoyed this. I have been educated. I'm sure Marcus has been educated, and our listening audience has been truly educated. So we just want to thank you so much again for coming. I am personally looking forward to having my Divas in the Kitchen gear as I'm expanding and growing and doing even more in the kitchen. I want to look good as well.
Boy, I can't wait till we come down there and broadcast a live show from. Oh my goodness, I'm getting way ahead of myself.
Ooh, yes.
Let me bring myself way back.
You love visionaries.
I mean, but this is a person that you want to connect, ladies. If you're struggling, get your mind off your problems, put your mind on your food and how to prepare it, how to get it ready. Explore something different. If you're always looking at the same problem, the problem that you look at will never change. But if you begin to look at the very raw ingredients in your kitchen, like the grandmother, and one thing the grandmothers did have, they had a vision of the end outcome of the ingredients that was on the shelf. I need some help right there. And so if we can get our minds off our problems, he ain't called me, he ain't text me, he didn't like, what's this he posted on my Facebook, you know what I'm saying? And get your mind on the creative juices of being fierce. I mean, Shakina Morris, she's infectious. I mean, if you listen to her show on and you're going to improve in your life. And thank you, Savannah, so much for coming by and sharing with our audience on today.
You are very welcome. It was an honor. Thank you guys for having me.
All right. I'll
Thank you.
defer to Miss Moore. We're going to take a small break.
All right. Yes, you are listening to Shakina Moore, etc. on SIBN Radio. We will be right back.
Woo! Good God of mercy, help me right now. Is that something I smell in the kitchen? Jesus.
I'm Nomvula, aka Sunshine, and we here in South Africa are tuned in to SIBN Radio at www.415-96radio.com. If you would like to know more about the SIBN television and radio network, complete a contact form at the website www.415-96radio.com. Salet USA TV, reaching the world.
Now is the time. Now is the time.
Your radio show on SIBN Radio. You're ready to share your message with the world. Then call 404-910-5019. That's right, call 404-910-5019. Producing your radio show on SIBN Radio. For more information, dial 404-910-5019. That's right. 404-910-5019. Now is the time.
The number one show on SIBN television and radio. The Coach's Corners Daily Show. Now airing at www.415-96radio.com. For hardcore motivation and daily inspiration. Tune in. That's www.415-96radio. That's www.415-96radio.com.
All right, we're back here. Shakina Moore wrapping things up. Shakina, I don't even know what to say. I don't even know how to act right now. It got real hot up in here. I'm trying to focus. I'm really trying to focus.
You know, it has been an awesome show. I have been thoroughly educated, and I know our listening audience as well. I think when you can get past the whole a woman's place is in the kitchen notion, and you can really, really get back to the love that goes into preparing food, preparing meals for your family, and not so much, the other part that you can really embrace it, and as you so eloquently put it, be sexy enough to get back in the kitchen.
Mm-hmm. And you know what? A woman's place is there anywhere where people are, because women are relational. Let's get this straight. Let's set the record straight for a lot of men out there that got that same old stigma that a woman's place, she better get in there. What you better do? You know what I'm saying? A woman's place is everywhere because she's more relational than a man could ever be. Men are achievement things based, materialistic based. They can go conquer something and say, honey, this is what I conquered right here. But she's able to relate to the 5-year-old, the 2-year-old, the 13-year-old, the 15-year-old. Come on now, the 45-year-old husband and the cousins and them and mama-in-law and them. And all keep her sanity at the same time, double back in the kitchen, check on the laundry, run upstairs and turn off the alarm clock that she forgot to hit at 5 o'clock in the morning when she got up because she tried to get up before the alarm clock. Don't get me started, okay? Women are bad to the bone, and we need to start giving them some honor and respect. And she's more relational than men will ever be. Men learn from women on relationships. If you know anything about women, they are more relational than men are. Men are more materialistic. Doesn't mean that we can't be relational. So let's give a little respect and honor where honor and respect is due. Don't get me started on that right there. They belong everywhere. I'm trying to be good. All right, final thoughts. We'll start with Miss Savannah Moore. Final thoughts.
Well, my final thoughts, I would just say to all the women out there, it's really not that bad. Getting back in the kitchen, getting yourself empowered, working on your self-image as a person, and really gain the passion and love for being in the kitchen, and look at it as if you're catering to or serving your husband or your spouse. Because at the end of the day, it takes a lot to build a relationship. Although cooking may not be a big part of the relationship, it is a part of it, and it is a part of keeping the happiness and keeping the spark in your relationship. And there's different things that you can do with that, with being sexy and being intimate, or having a nice music playing, or if your husband's watching a game, go give him his plate, and just it's so so much you can do with that. And, just stay empowered, stay encouraged, and make sure you check us out at Divas in the Kitchen, because I promise you will not leave the same way you came.
All right. And Miss Moore, I don't know if somebody's texting me and say, I cook for my man, but he won't get up and go find a job. I don't know if somebody's sending this. I mean,
are you serious right now?
What do we?
That's a lot of women's reality. So
it is.
We laugh, but that's somebody's reality.
All right. So before we go, Shakina Moore, somebody saying, I cook for my man regularly, but I need him to go and get a job. He lost his job. Shakina, answer that question.
I agree with you, ma'am. He does need to go out and get a job. I agree with you 100%. You continue to do what you're doing in faith that everything will turn around. I don't encourage you to stop cooking simply because he has not found a job, unless, of course, you can no longer afford to provide the food to cook. That's a totally different situation. But, again, as we heard our guest say today, Ms. Savannah Moore, that cooking is an outlet in some regards as well. And do it for yourself. Continue to, prepare healthy meals, even if for yourself, while he's transitioning and getting a job. Also, I want to speak to these women who have a lot of money, because I'm even experiencing this myself as I up-level. I may not have time for some things that I used to have time for, but I think it's still important to make time, because nobody's hands are going to be as anointed to touch food that your family is going to be consuming, that your husband is going to be consuming, as your hands. And so even though money may no longer be an issue for you and your family, and you're like, well, I'm only going to, have someone prepare the meals for us, you may still want to, a couple of days a week, get in there and do it yourself, because, number one, it's an outlet. Number two, there is nobody's hands like your hands when it comes to serving your family. So I just wanted to put that out there.
That's good right there.
I agree.
That's good right there. That got me on silent right there. When a coach gets silent, that means you got me right there. Whoa. Okay. Ain't nobody's hands like her hands.
This has been a phenomenal show.
Yes. So, ladies and gentlemen, this is it. Keeping it hot in the kitchen. This is how you do it. Now, if you are looking for tips, and if you are looking for information on how to encourage yourself as you venture beyond the blah life to become fierce, by all means, you want to visit those websites that she gave us earlier. Give us those websites one more time, Savannah.
Sure. Twitter is Divas in the Kitchen, DITK 2013. Our Facebook, you can just find us at Divas in the Kitchen. And also on our Facebook, we update that daily, so we have different recipes and different things that empower women to get back in the kitchen on a daily basis. So if you just follow us on Facebook alone, you'll be empowered and you'll get different recipes and different knowledge of different things that will enhance you getting back in the kitchen. And you can also go on my website at SerenteCatering.com, and that is SERENTHIS catering CATERING.com.
Well, we've had a great
time. And Savannah, are you offering, I saw that you were offering a contest for a VIP package? For your next DITK event in March?
Oh, yeah.
Mm-hmm. You want to tell us about that?
Yes.
Yeah. Pretty much I wanted to offer a VIP package for our upcoming Divas in the Kitchen. If you go to our email, or if you email us at SerenteCatering@yahoo.com, the first person that purchases their ticket will get a free VIP ticket. And our email address is just SerenteCatering@yahoo.com. It's SERENTAICATERING@yahoo.com, and use the code DITK2013. And if you email us prior to this event, after you purchase your ticket, then the offer is yours.
Wow. That's a good deal.
Okay, we said wow at the same time. All right, y'all. All right, this is how the fierce life goes, and I told you that Shakina Moore is infectious. So if you listen to this show and you feel something tingling in your lifestyle, and telling you to put that fierce color on, I want you to do that real quick in 20 seconds. Give them the fierce advice until the next show, Miss Shakina Moore.
Give them the fierce what, Marcus?
Some fierce advice to the next show.
Okay. Absolutely. Fierce advice I would give for our fierce audience is to promote sisterhood. One of the things we don't do enough is we don't encourage and congratulate each other enough. I want to publicly congratulate Miss Savannah Moore on all she's doing. She's a trendsetter. She's going out there and she's marking new territory. She's being bold. She's being authoritative. Everything that God put in her belly, she's fully maximizing it and taking it to another level. And she's helping a whole lot of women along the way, including myself. And so I just want to encourage every listener to reach your hand out and bless another woman. Sisterhood. If you're thinking fierce living, you have got to embrace and you've got to embody sisterhood. We don't have enough of it, and guess what? It starts with each and every one of us. And so with that, Marcus, I'm going to leave it there.
All right, you've been listening to the Shekinah Moore, etc. show, radio program. It was a show today because it was hot everywhere. If you want to keep it hot anywhere in your life, keep tuning in. Don't forget now to visit www.ShekinahMooreEtc.com and follow her on Facebook, Shekinah Moore, etc. on SIBN Radio. Until next time, stay fierce and exercise your own voice to empower who you were intended to be. My name is Marcus Slett, a.k.a. The Coach, speaking for Shekinah Moore and volunteers and interns. Take care of yourself.
Listening to SIBN Radio, powered by Salet USA TV. Tune in 24/7 at www.415-96radio.com. Follow us on Twitter at Salet USA TV and on Facebook at www.facebook.com/Salet USA TV.